Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. Now I'm back here with another Conquest video. So I've already covered the boss fights from first 3 sectors. So now in sector 4 I was doing a lot of testing, trying to find out that one team that can clear all the feats. Unfortunately was not able to do that for various reasons which I'll get into, but however I used 2 teams here to complete all the feats here in sector 4, going up against Sith Eternal. So we're also facing Sith Trooper here as well, the real Sith Trooper, Vader, we got Sion and as well Piet in there. Okay, so let's look at the feats here. You have to remove from enemies at least 700% turn meter, and this one probably is the most challenging one of them all. You have to attack out of turn at least 20 times. This one is not too hard as well, I think. And then finally, again, this one's probably the easiest one, where you have to win without using any support units in your squad. Now for the modifiers, the enemy, they do get a wait for it modifier, where boss has extra counter attack chance, tenacity, critical chance, and defense. Will also dispel debuffs on themselves at the start of their turn, and also gain 10% turn meter whenever they take damage. And whenever you defeat any of the allies from the boss, then boss will get debuffs applied on him. So the first one will be daze and health down, the next one vulnerable and unable to critical hit, and finally tenacity down and 10 stacks of armor shred. So after you take out all the allies, then Sith Eternal, he becomes easier to take out. Okay, so let me show you also the data discs that I actually have equipped here. I've got the decay, so it's a turn meter removal, which will help us with the turn meter removal feat a little bit. Then the key one here is the deployable cooling system. So every time you get a buff, you have 15% chance to reduce your cooldowns. And to support this, I've got a lot of data discs here that are giving you buffs. So I've got defensive buffs. So at the start of the turn, unit will gain critical hit immunity, tenacity up, and defense up. And then they will also gain heal over time for 2 turns, 2 heal over times for 2 turns, and then I'll get some other bonuses there. But the main one, is this one that will reduce your cooldowns, so you can then use your special abilities back to back. So make sure that then you also put any data discs that apply buffs on the beginning of the turn, and that should make it then very, very straightforward, especially the non-turn meter removal fits. But anyway, let's first get out of the way the easy feat first. So let me show you one where I won without using any support units. There we go. So there's a team that I use. Basically, just use Vader and any sort of combination of tanks and attackers, and you should be good to go here, really. Because Vader, once he gets a turn, because of the deployable cooling systems and all the buffs, data disc with buffs, he'll be able to keep spamming his AoEs, keep spamming Merciless Massacre there as well. Now, why the turn meter removal feat is so challenging is because really both here, Vader and Sith Eternal, you can't remove turn meter from them. So then essentially you got only 3 guys that you can remove turn meter from. And once you remove their turn meter to 0, then if you keep removing a turn meter, that won't count. So they have to be able to gain some turn meter before you can remove it again. And because you can only do that on 3 guys, it could be a bit challenging. And if you just be able to go straight through to Sith Eternal, take him out, and then work on the rest of the 4 guys, that would be easy. But as we know, Sith Eternal has built in this kit that you can't always target him, you can't mark him, and things like that. So it's almost you have to burn through everybody else first before you go after him. And that's why this turn meter removal could prove challenging, because if you are fooling around too much, both Vader initially with his initial onslaught can cause some troubles, and then once Sith Eternal gets his ultimate out, it can be quite challenging. And additionally, the best units there, they do have turn meter removal in the kit. They're all support characters, so doing this in one shot, I think is really hard. I was really trying to find some sort of combination. So if anybody found a combination that can do all 3 feats in one attempt, I would love to see that one. But the best thing I could do is here do it in 2 attempts. So the first one, as you can see, Vader he can just keep spamming over and over his abilities here. Just putting AoEs here. I was trying to see if I can remove enough turn meter, but because they never actually gain any turn meter, to be honest, it doesn't really work that well. So here I was just testing out, does the turn meter removal still stack if they have 0 turn meter, and no, it does not. So let me just speed through this one. Anyway, just Vader doing his thing over and over again, and there we go, finish the battle, completed it. The turn meter removal did not work, so they do need to gain turn meter in order for you to remove them. So right, with kind of the easiest feat out of the way, let's now look at the team that I used to complete the next 2 feats. Alright, so this is now the team here that I will use to complete the remaining 2 feats. Got General Grievous lead here, now mine's at Relic 4, Brood Alpha also Relic 4, Watt Relic 5 and B2 Relic 3, and my Moff Gideon they are Gear 9 and only 5-star, but you know, that's okay. His turn meter removal ability works well, and that's why he's there for turn meter removal. Now Geobrood as well can remove turn meter on his Dispel AoE special ability, and then Wat Tambor, whenever he assists when an enemy that uses their special ability with tech, he will come to assist as well, so he can then remove turn meter also. And then Grievous himself as well, he has, you know, that built into his kit some turn meter removal from target locked enemies. So overall, you know, we got some we have turn meter removal here as well. It's not just Moff Gideon, but he will be doing bulk of the turn meter removal. Now then also we need to be able to attack out of turns. So obviously Geobrew there, whenever he goes, he will call Geobrute to assist, so let's attack out of turn. Geobrute himself is counter-attacking, another attack out of turn. Then Moff Gideon, whenever he removes turn meter, he will call himself to assist. And then also when Watt is assisting with his basic, whenever you use a special ability with somebody that's got tech on him, that will count as an attack out of turn as well. So it's a pretty straightforward thing here to do, I think. But anyway, let me now go into the battle and just show you how I run this team. They obviously get a jump start on you, so first priority obviously should be taking out Vader. But anyway, let's put a weapon tech over on Gideon because mine's very slow, you know, at 5-star. I think his speed is at 250 or something, so I wanted to make sure that he goes first. There we go, so we remove some turn meter already. That's why you want to put weapon tech on Moff Gideon first. Unless you have him relic, then he's fast anyway, then he maybe does not need weapon tech. But there we go, we can, thanks to deployable cooling systems, we again can remove turn meter. Alright, remove turn meter again. So you can see Vader and Sith Eternal, they can't have their turn meter removed, but on the other 3, Gideon was able there to remove a lot of turn meter. Now Vader, he should be our priority number 1 here. Let's remove turn meter again, because he's the one in the beginning that can do a lot of damage on your guys. Sith Eternal, he only becomes dangerous once he gets his ultimate out, but for now, you know, he's no threat here. And again, spam here, control the situation. Here with Gideon, remove more turn meter. Okay, we go, yep. And why B2 is good here, so he can dispel that retribution when Sith Eternal applies it on himself and his allies. That's why he's good. There we go. And also why Geobrood is here, because when Palpatine links, he will have to first go after Brood. There we go, first AoE there, so we finally got rid of Vader. Now we have to get rid of everybody. Because yeah, he will link, because he's taunting, the first person he will link is Geobrood. And then when he does use special, obviously he will take him out, and in this case B2 that's linked as well. But then you'll be able, because if you use any other tank, that tank would be defeated and gone. But like this, you can just resummon. So definitely I think Geobrood is a very good option here. And now here Grievous, he can just start smashing his AoEs here. There we go. And remember, the more the more enemies we defeat, the more debuffs Sith Eternal will get. So we can resummon here our Brute. Alright, there in between, obviously I forgot to mention when I was talking, I applied now weapon tech over on Grievous, because you will need weapon tech on him, so he can then in the end go one-on-one with Sith Eternal and finish him off. As you can see, there's a bit of a bug here. I'm not sure is it because of the reducing cooldowns disc, but what had all tech available there, so even though I applied med pack and weapon tech on 2 guys, he had them available to use as well. So if you could go crazy, you could apply, you know, weapon tech on more guys or med pack on more guys. But anyway, I put tank tech over on Bro there. There we go. I need to burn for Scion now. Can't target, unfortunately, Sith Eternal here. There we go. Yep. There we go. So as you can see, we're getting lots of attacks out of turn from assists and counter attacks. So we will complete that one. There comes another ultimate, which obviously ticks off Grievous. He finished off there. Scion. And again, we can resummon our Brute here. Here we go. Do a crawl. There we go. Alright, yep. Now he's recovering some protection there. So I was thinking, should I use basic here with Grievous to try and land healing immunity on him or not? Or should I just keep using his special attack that does a nice big damage? There we go, he linked up these 2 guys. Alright, so if he gets another big attack off, there we go. It's always like this, one-on-one, and bam. And it's a victory. Now in this particular battle here, obviously the attacks out of turn feat doesn't show here because I completed it during testing of some of the other squads here. But in my other account, I did use the same team and I did complete attacks out of turn at the same time. So, but the main key here, I think, you know, that a lot of people probably are struggling it is the 100% turn meter removal. So even low star, low gear Gideon works here really well. Just put weapon tech on him at the beginning, so he quickly get a turn and then he can keep removing turn meter from everybody. And then Grievous, once they start taking out Grievous's allies, he'll be getting lots of bonus turns. And once you have weapon tech on him, he'll be able to take guys out with his AoEs. And then finally, when it's always one-on-one with Sith Eternal, because Sith Eternal will have so many debuffs on him already, because of, you know, the modifier there that I showed you in the beginning for this battle, Grievous should be able, like I showed in the end, just to literally one-shot Sith Eternal in the end, and this will complete the battle and give you the 2 remaining feats here, so you can then get max feats here in Sector 4. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a single team, but you know, 2 teams is still good because now that we completed all the nodes, you know, we got like 3-4 days now time to, you know, play around with these boss fights and, you know, get these feats to work. So it's not a problem, you know, if you need 2 teams to complete this. Alright guys, hope you find this video useful and helpful. Let me know in the comments below or on my Discord server. But until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.